It's Hughezy. Hello, and hello to everybody, especially if you are a snowflake. Plugs. Don't forget there's a show, Patreon, where you can get a lot of exclusive and completely unedited content right there. It's the only place where you can find it uncut, and it'll never ever be uploaded anywhere else but Patreon. So if you want to hear this upcoming interview completely uncensored and unedited, that's the place to go. And not only just that, even if you don't want to hear the uncensored stuff and you just want to support the show, go there, drop us a Patreon subscription, and it helps out a lot in the long run. Also, don't forget to follow the Creative Control Network and all our other shows. We've got a lot of great stuff up there, such as the recently signed American Dirtbags podcast with the brilliant Dennis and Molly. And we got Oh What a Rush by Animal. That's right, the Animal. And of course, it's the Highway to Helms with the one and only Shane Helms. Can you actually believe I work with him? And plus, I just gotta say, if you're listening to this on one of the great podcasting apps, don't forget there's the video version of this that you can find up on YouTube. Just look for Hughezy Entertainment or search Hughezy. Hello. And don't forget that if you're watching this on YouTube, that you should go check out the audio version, which is on all good podcasting providers. It's on your iTunes, it's on Stitcher, it's on Google Play. It is on Spotify. And for any of you wrestling fans, don't forget to check out the Keeping It 100 official YouTube page. That channel is growing and growing, and that is the best place where you can go to get in contact and interact with Conan and Disco. And the one other thing I'm going to say is that if you enjoy the music or any of the song clips used within this episode, well, they are available at all good music stores, in person, online, and all streaming services. And plus, as a personal review, I give them all 5 stars. Thank you, and the plugs are over. Now, as you can see, this is actually what my hair looks like, and it does need cut, and it will be cut soon. But right now, I'm going with the Ramsey Nesbitt homeless glue sniffer look. Today, we got the brilliant Katie Hopkins on. Now, if I accidentally call her Katie Taylor, that's because I was just reading about boxing, and I'm a huge fan of Katie Taylor, funnily enough. But yes, so we get Katie Hopkins on. She's kind of a controversial lady, but that's what I like about her. I like the fact that she speaks her mind and says what she wants, because everybody should do that. And the thing about Katie Hopkins really is, you don't have to like what she says. You don't have to even listen to what she says, but you do have to respect her right to say what she wants. And she does say what she wants, as she should. So that's coming up. But on top of that, for all you sexists, excuse me while I take a sip of self-righteousness, we've got Jon Wanglund from Wrestling with Reality on. So it's going to be us two men talking about big, manly wrestling. So Jon, hello. Hey, Jon, it's so great for you to come back on the podcast again.
Man, I'm watch-alongs. They're just some fun shit, man.
It's big time, big hits for us. You've got a podcast too. Why don't you plug the name of it?
Wrestling with Reality podcast, guys. We're on Hipcast, Google Play, iTunes under Wrestling with Reality, and it's under the Creative Control Network.
Well, I think it goes without saying that you and I are we're the watch-along tag team champions, and this is the tag team classic here. This is from WrestleMania 6. It's the Hart Foundation versus the Bolsheviks.
Damn, man. This is a classic. I forgot.
This is an intense match, and there's a rumor that this is a legit fight. I'm just saying. So, WrestleMania 6, you're going to queue it up. And I really got to warn anyone listening that this is long, so you might want to clear your schedule if you're going to watch along with this.
Especially if Nick Lykoff is singing.
Oh, yeah. So, we're going to cue it up here in 3, 2, 1. And Nikolai's been thrown out. And they've hit the clothesline on the other one. And 1, 2, 3. That was an incredible match.
Man, these guys, that's a Dave Meltzer 5-star classic for sure.
Don't forget to plug your YouTube, by the way.
All right, guys. WWR Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe, like it, and definitely be checking it out.
Blown away by how good looking I am and want to attempt to be as gorgeous as I am? Well, if you don't know where to start, I recommend starting with the Tees Hanley Skincare System Level 1. It gives you all of the basics. It gives you face wash, gives you an exfoliating scrub, in AM and PM moisturizers. All of this for only $25. But here's the best thing. Since you're all a part of the It's Hughezy Hello family, they're offering you an exclusive discount to try their already affordable system at an amazing price. Click the link in the description to get the exclusive discount, or use the coupon code HughezyHello, that's all capital letters, for a 20% discount. You may never be as absolutely unstoppably gorgeous as me, but Tease Hanley is the best way to try. Thank you, John, and that was very manly, as you can see. Coming up now is Katie Hopkins herself. Now, you may know some audio jumps in the middle of this. Well, that's because there was a few technical glitches in the recording, and that's because the government is trying to shut down free speech. Either that or bad internet connection. So if somehow, right in the middle of it, a sentence just changes into another topic, sadly that's what happened. You didn't really miss out on much in that. It was only happening for a few seconds here and there, but I'm sure you'll find something to complain about anyway. So here it is. Katie Hopkins, hello.
So, hey, Katie Hopkins, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Hey, that's all right.
I gotta say, it's great to talk to you because me and you, we've got a lot in common. Like, we're both very open about free speech and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really important that people on whatever side they sit on, get to do these conversations. I think it really matters. I think it's really helpful as well.
And I think it's so that people need to get to the day and age where sometimes people just don't agree with you, and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Actually, I spoke to a person the other day that said that Oasis aren't the greatest band of all time, and after I stopped laughing, I realized they're stupid, but that's what they think,
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. And I think that's kind of one of the biggest things is trying to get back to, and we used to have it, it's trying to get back to a place where we can realize we don't necessarily have to agree, or certainly we don't have to agree all the time. Like, we can agree on maybe one thing and then not agree at all on everything else. And that's also okay.
Well, one of the things I'd love to get your take on, because I know you've probably got a brilliant take on, is in America, the big drama / scandal of the minute is that goof, what's his name? Jussie Smollett. And his completely fabricated J.K. Rowling of a hate crime.
I know. So, can you imagine? Sorry, I'm just falling off my chair slightly. Can you even imagine being him? Like, that's what I feel a bit now for him. I feel a bit sorry for the guy, because I feel like, how would you get over being him now? Like, how do you ever recover? You can recover from being an addict. You can recover from being, completely cocking up. But I don't know if you can recover from making up a hate crime.
But do you think that, because now the latest thing he's doing is he's saying, oh, I've got a drug problem and I have mental health issues. And it's like, yeah, but so does the majority of the people out there. That doesn't mean that you imagine that a bunch of white people beat you up.
That's so true. That's so true. And I think it's one of the things, that what we were just saying, you can recover from being an addict. So very quickly, they sort of resort to that line of saying, oh, I've got addiction issues, because it's recoverable from. And you're right. You have to separate those two things and say, okay, even if you have addiction issues, address those. But that is separate and distinct from making up a crime because, what is it? He didn't like his paycheck or something, or he didn't like the number of lines he'd been given.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's going to like the lunch line in jail now.
I just like the idea that if you or I, kind of pissed off about what we were being paid, we would go out and make up a hate crime. I mean, just imagine how well that would go down. They're really great.
But the thing is, it's really brilliant that, because you do know that this is going to happen again, where somebody makes up. So I'm sorry I was late for that job interview. A horse ran me over, and it gave me Game of Thrones spoilers, and it made me gain weight, and it ruined the next Marvel film. And it's like,
it's for sure. I think I just think, sometimes if you imagine this the other way around, like you imagine someone like you or I came out and said, well, these black guys, these Muslims, they all descended on me and they tried to whip me and beat me. You would never, someone like myself, you would never recover from that. I think I've had my own fake hate crime committed in my name, actually. I think a police force helped stitch me up. There was a guy who had my Twitter graffiti sprayed in his room, in his house. And there was a sort of suggestion that it was my fault that he had been attacked, but I'm not sure that attack really ever happened. There was a typo in my tweet, and they even copied their typo when they aerosol spray painted his walls.
Absolute. It's a joke, this world we're living in. Like, it's Lord of the Rings times. But talk to me, and of course, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, and I'm not trying to offend anyone listening. So this is just the question I'm asking. I'm not saying that Katie Hopkins said it, but do you think that it's strange how, if there's an attack done in the street or terrorized by a Muslim group, that it's never referred to as a hate crime? Yet if you bumped into somebody in a supermarket, maybe a Muslim lady, and you knocked her over, they would claim a hate crime.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's a really frustrating, it's a really frustrating thing for me, is our lack of ability to speak clearly and plainly about what's going on. And that's irrelevant whether it's a Muslim or a white person or a gobby Brit called Katie, whatever. I think we need absolute clarity about what's going on. You know, the media is always trying to tell us we have to be careful about fake news. The BBC wants to police what is and what isn't fake news. Facebook wants to police what is and what isn't fake news. So then it's really important, it's critical that the people we're supposed to trust with the news, the BBC, do report it factually. And of course, saying someone is an Asian man, or in the latest grooming gang scandal in Oxford, men of Oxford, Muslim man, that's what you are. You are not a man of Oxford. So I think there's this sort of imperative for the people that claim to be real news to actually deliver facts. You know, we've come a very long way from facts, I think.
Yeah, it's the whole sort of race to claim victimhood now, and it's very scary how, like, everyone's getting in horrible life-ruining trouble over small, like, disagreements.
Yeah, for sure. And I see it only works one way. So in Glasgow a couple of days ago, I don't know if you saw the pictures of the Eritrean lady being hung out of her window by her hair. She was dangled, I think it was 100 floors up by her hair out of a window. And so I was sharing that information because, like, the state of Britain is a crazy place. And people were saying, well, why did you have to say she was Eritrean? How is that relevant that she's Eritrean? Why mention her nationality? And it's like, well, factually, she's Eritrean. That's it. And it doesn't work the other way. So when Majid Nawaz was attacked in London the other day, he was given a bit of a punch. It was immediate that it was a racial attack. It was committed by a white person. You know, you're always allowed to speak about it if it's a white person. You're not allowed to mention the nationality if it's another color other than white.
But that's another topic I'd love to ask you, is it's the battle against freedom of speech, because, like, I'll be totally honest, I'm not exactly Mr. Politically Correct, but I'm not a racist. But at the same time, I don't think it's out of line to criticize a different gender, different sexuality, different race or whatever without being called racist. You know, like, I think modern rap music has never been more shite than it is. And that's nothing to do with race, because there's a lot of white people doing rap music. But basically, I want to ask you about, why do you think, and what's your take on this battle against the freedom of speech?
First up, labels. You know, I feel like the word racist, I have no reaction to the word racist anymore. It has no meaning to me. It's like air or water, or, you know, something really anemic like vanilla or magnolia. I have no gut reaction to racist or being called racist, because you called it so often, it's really lost all meaning. And we do harm to our vocabulary when we use words inappropriately, I think, because they lose all value. So I accept any of the labels people want to put on me: racist, Islamophobe, sexist, bigot, misogynist, whatever I get called, I'm fine with that. And then I'm kind of asking people, okay, I'll accept all of your labels. Now, can we talk about the thing we're trying to talk about? Now, can we have a conversation? And one of the things I grabbed, I was up on the university campus in Exeter the other day, which is like in the southwest of England. It's where I used to go to uni. They have debates there. I was invited to debate. got on campus, massive protests as per normal. The socialists were out, the professors of the university were out on the picket line, whatever. When I got in the building, all the building was full with students, lovely kids, and I was made to sign a form, the first form they've ever asked any speaker to sign ever in the history of speaking at Exeter University, where I promise that I will refrain from using language that promotes hatred of any group, has the intent to cause alarm or distress, may be considered to be abusive, threatening, or insulting. And I was told I had 5 minutes to sign this form, or security would remove me from the building. You know, that's where we're at with speech today. That's a debating society on a university campus. I'm there out of the goodness of my own big heart.
But it's ridiculous. I the big thing that always gets to me is when people complain about body shaming, but it's like, if it wasn't for body shaming, I would have died of a heart attack when I was 27. Because I was a fat bastard, so, you know.
Yeah, because your Skype picture is a picture of you with a burger shoved in your face.
Oh, can you not see me? Or
Yeah, no, I can see you.
Oh,
but
yeah.
as in your Skype little picture is you with a burger in your face. What is that about?
That's to do with me. It's the way of me having a big ego that I find myself funny, yet at the same time I'm so insecure that I don't want a normal photo, so that I may come across as less than James Bond.
So I see. So it's sort of subversion. It's just going, here I am with a burger in my face, so now you can't criticize my nose or whatever that is, whatever the thing is that you're sensitive about.
Why? What's wrong with my nose?
I bring that up because obviously it's my nose that usually gets.
Sorry,
I know I dropped out, I think, for a second. Did you used to be a fatty?
Yeah, I was up to about 260.
260 pounds?
Yeah, it was a full-on James Corden.
Oh my God. So you were like nearly 20 stone?
18 and a half. Yeah. It was,
what were you doing?
Oh, it was after I graduated. I couldn't get any full-time work, so it was a lot of sitting around, hungover, arguing with strangers on the internet, eating microwave pizza.
Oh, that's tragic. And then you lost it. What are you now?
I'm about 220, but I'm like what I would deem a healthy version.
Yeah, of your weight.
Yeah, I would. Well, I like to think so, but if it helps, my hamstrings are made from shit.
Sorry, I'm not sure if it's your signal or mine. So yeah, my thing with fatties and chubsters in general is that we need to call it straight. So if you're a fatty or a chubster, you know, my big thing about it is I haven't got a problem with you at all. I don't mind that you're fat. It's no big deal. It's your decision. But I only ever want it so that people accept that it's their choice to be fat and that you're fat because you eat too much. And it doesn't matter what excuse you're going to pull out of your ass. It doesn't matter if you say that you've got big bones or it runs in your family or you're on medication or I don't understand and it's expensive to eat healthily, all of those things. No, you're fat because you eat too much. That's it. And if you didn't eat as much and you walked a bit more, you'd be thinner. So that's always been my thing with fat people. And that's why I guess I put on, what did I put on? 4 stone, so like 50 pounds, and then lost it again to prove that fat people are lazy.
Let me ask you this question. It gives us something, because I was brought up with a single parent family. It was just my mum. And I've always been raised to, you know, you got to respect women and you got to treat women equally and women, female empowerment and stuff. But then I see a lot of fake feminists insulting you because you are what a feminist should be. Like, you don't follow the crowd. You speak your mind. You stand up for yourself. But then people, women and feminists, attack you because you say, oh, well, this is what I think. And they go, no, but that's not what it says. And the paper's like, yeah, this is what I think. So what do you think about the fake feminists?
Yeah, fake feminists. I think women have never been more disappointing, really. I think this need to be, oh, I'm a feminist, you know, but I'm a selective feminist because we can't have a statue of Thatcher, who, in my opinion, was the greatest politician of all time and was a female politician in power at a time when no females were in power. We can only have this feminist because she believes the right thing and she says the right thing. And I think the biggest way feminists have exposed themselves is their desperate need to be loved by Muslims. Their desperate need to pander to Islam. So this idea that the hijab, the burqa, is perfectly normal and natural, and women would choose to wear that, and then they're completely blind to women in Iran taking off their burqa, their hijab, and being tortured and penalized and persecuted for it. The feminists are silent on that matter because it's too awkward for them to address the fact that Muslims shouldn't be covered. We shouldn't have covered women in this country. And that's where feminists are just pathetic, silent creatures, because their wish to be loved by Muslims is greater than their wish to defend women, truly. And I think that's really, really depressing. So, but I think there's an enormous number of us kind of bolshy women who are, well, certainly for myself, very happy not to be liked. And it's one of the things, you know, you try and get that message out to kids, because this sort of social media has made it so much that you need to fit in. You need to be on that chat and in this group and on that WhatsApp group and in this Instagram with this many likes. And it's like, no, you know, maybe you are your own person. And maybe if your friends want you to change your opinion, you need to change your friends. So it's trying to get people to see that you can stand alone and it's okay not to be liked. This pandering to needing to be loved has been a real distraction for young people, I think. But yeah, feminists are really disappointing. I think one of the classic things is that we will see women disappear from sport. If the trans mania continues in the route and direction that it's currently going, which the feminists of course support because they have to have a love-in with LGBTQ also, we will see women kicked out of sport altogether by trans men who are now women. And the feminists are really going to struggle to argue their way out of that one when there's no equality for women anymore because we're beaten by women that used to be men.
It's funny you mention that, because this happened fairly recently, and of course I'm not putting words in Katie Hopkins' mouth. This is me saying it. This is not Katie, but like there's some people would say, oh, that you know, the transgender thing is a mental issue. Like like recently I tried to buy this jacket that was pretty expensive, and everyone was like, "Are you insane?" And I said, wait a minute, so I could cut my dick off and get tit implants, and that's perfectly normal, but a £400 jacket makes me insane?
Did you buy the jacket?
No, I'm too fat.
Oh, I want to see the jacket now. What sort of jacket was the jacket?
It was a leather jacket from Pretty Green. Thank you very much.
Sure. To buy the jackets that you buy, I think you should go and get it.
But here's the thing, it's funny because you mentioned like the sort of the refugees, the immigrants thing, but my whole thing is, and not that I'm like anti-immigration or refugee, but my whole thing is, it's like, well, if you take like a family dinner, for example, and you've got a family and all, where you don't settle down to have dinner together and go, wait, stop, I'm just going to go into the neighbor's house and see if they're eating first. It says, you take care of your own first and then you help.
It's so true. It's so true. I think, you know, with the refugee thing, and in fact, the debate at the University of Exeter, where I had to sign a form, otherwise I was going to be removed from the building, was about this house believes we should put our own citizens first. So obviously I'm arguing tooth and nail that we should put Brits first. I think you are, the more you get, like as if you're doing your car insurance and you're a careful driver, the more British you are, the more access you get to services provided by the state, right? So if you've got a great grandfather who's British, if you like fish and chips on a Friday, if you maybe have done something good, maybe you've given to the donor system in the UK, or you've given blood for the Brits, you earn points. And then it means when you come to need an operation yourself, or you need a school place for your kids, you go to the front of the queue. And I think that's what we need in Britain today. For too long, British people have felt like they're at the back of the queue. And I think you really feel that if you speak to regular mums, speak to mums who need a doctor's place for their kid or a primary school place for their kid, you know, that's where the rub really feels. People in London can say, oh, refugees welcome, while they've got their kids in private school and they've got their private healthcare. If you're a regular Brit living in the places that I travel through, you know, the rub really meets when you can't get your kid into school places. And we officially run out of school places in London this year. In 2 years' time, there will be 110,000 school places short in London. So we are going to have to come up with some kind of system of allocation. And it's going to need to put British people first, because otherwise, you know, how not standing up for itself? We're just so damn submissive. It does my head in.
Well, that's something that this is a great topic. And I'm going to mispronounce your name, so no offense to anyone that gets hyper offended by that. But there's a lady who was trying to come back to the UK, and her name was Shamia Begum.
Shamina Begum.
Shamina Begum.
Yeah, her and I are bezies. We're like best mates. We're like that. Yes.
And the thing is that it's incredible, like especially because I did a Twitter search about it. The amount of people that agree with you, it's massive.
I know. It really, if you want to piss off the left, feminists, the mainstream media, basically just be me, make a video about something, and then it go viral for like 5 days with like 20 million views, and essentially everybody going, yes, Katie, come on. That's one way to really piss off everybody. And it's great, actually. It's a great unifier for all of us, because when we really feel something, we are so joined together. You know, lots of people who hate me, hate everything I said, even Chubsters, will go, actually, on this, she's got a point. And I think that's a glorious thing. I really applaud everyone that can say, I hate that woman, but actually, that makes some sense. I think that's a really cool thing to be able to get there.
Yeah, and I'd say for that lady, if you've made
Shamina.
if Shamina, if you've made your terrace bed, then you get to sleep in your terrace bed. Like that's.
I think it's really weird. Like, she's going around with this baby, like this, like all of a sudden she was pregnant, and then like 2 days later she'd have the baby. No one really knows if that happened, because they're all in burqas, so Christ knows what's going on under there. Like, she could be, I don't know what's going on, she could have 85 spaniels under there, you wouldn't know. So she's going around with this like thing in a rag. It's never moved, it's never cried, she's never once gone in a motherly way, like look down at it. I don't even know that there is actually a baby. So I love the fact that now her story's changed. So it started off, I have no sympathy, I saw heads in bins, that was fine. Manchester Arena was fine because that was tit for tat, and you know, that's just how life is. And now I'm really sorry, I feel really apologetic, I need to come home so I can help other people not do what I'm doing. So this whole coaching of these guys to make them appeal to the liberal left, you know, it's a really sinister stuff at work, I think.
Yeah, and I just think that this is sort of because it's not that we're saying no immigrants, we're just saying not ones that are in terrorist groups. Like if somebody from
just
Belfast,
not crap ones.
Yeah, it's like
we don't want crap ones. We want some good ones.
Yeah, it's like if someone from Belfast was coming over to England and says, "Hello, my name's Seamus. I love the IRA, McFlinnerty. Can I come in, please?" You'd say, "No, you can't. Sorry, because you know."
I know, it's so funny. Hey, one thing, you have got really good teeth.
All real.
Yeah, you have. I just noticed that, and I thought that, and I think I should. Yeah, why have you got such good teeth?
I've never smoked in my life, if that helps.
Did you have braces?
No.
You just got blessed with really good Irish teeth.
Yeah, but then I was a fat bastard, so it's you know. But Katie, we've now come to the two big questions, and these are the questions that everybody gets asked, and these are the all-important, life-changing questions. So here's the first one. Who is the best band, Queen or the Beatles?
Oh, Queen. Yeah, for sure. I have to say that as well. My husband is a massive Freddie Mercury fan. He's been to see Bohemian Rhapsody 4 times now. And this Sunday, so a couple of days ago, me, my husband, our 3 children who are 15, 14 and 10, were all obligated to go to the Freddie Mercury Bohemian Rhapsody sing-along version at our local movie. And we had to sing, and my husband was singing, and the kids were like, Dad, Dad. So I have to say Freddie Mercury out of loyalty to my husband.
Everybody prefers Queen to the Beatles. It's everyone that thinks that.
Oh, I just lost you.
Oh, I'm back now.
Okay, you're back. Sorry. Question 2.
And here's the big, all-important question, and this is what it all relies on. The Spice Girls are back. Who is your favorite Spice Girl?
Oh, every day of the week, Sporty Spice. Love her. Think she's fabulous. Think she's super hot. And I just think anybody that can do a backflip and sing. In fact, she's the only one of them that can sing, right? So Sporty Spice every day.
I'm sorry, that's the incorrect answer. The answer we were looking for was Baby Spice. She is the best.
No way, she's so lame. She's the sort of person that I think if I was sat next to at a wedding, I would like make up a reason to change tables. She'd just be like sickly sweet, nice, she just wants to be liked. That's not the sort of girl you want to be around.
I don't know, she seems like the cheeky one that isn't afraid to have a hot dog.
Do you think she would be any good in bed?
Oh, it wouldn't matter to me.
Yeah, you see, think sporty. Sporty, always the best option.
I'll think about it. Well, listen, Katie, I want to thank you so much for giving me your time. It's been great to talk to. I always like anyone that speaks their mind.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for having me on. And all the best to Ireland. There we are. That's my Eurovision well wishes to the people of Ireland.
Can I ask one quick favor just before you go?
Yeah, of course.
One of my other podcasting jobs is I edit for this sports podcast in America called Keeping It 100, and one of their staff is a wrestler guy, a retired wrestler called Disco Inferno. That's not his real name, by the way. And
he was literally christened Disco, and his surname was Inferno. It's amazing.
And he refuses to do this podcast out of spite. So anytime I get a guest on, I always try to ask them to record a request. So would you mind doing that?
Yeah, let me know when.
Right now, if you don't mind.
Okay, Disco Inferno, you little naughty pants. I've heard that you're not willing to do this. Now listen, my name's Katie Hopkins, and I reckon not only could I wrestle your ass into the dust, but two, I gave up my time to do this podcast with this guy. He's got better teeth than me. He's not bad looking. I've got 3 kids. I've got shit to be doing. You've got bugger all to do. Get your ass on the podcast. Stop being such a loser and stop being so unkind. Disco Inferno, get grooving to the podcast.
That's the best one so far.
I try my best.
Thank you, Katie. And that was by far the best burial of Disco Inferno so far. Conan needs to up his game. Okay, that's me. I'm going to go do something about this hair. Bye-bye.